Thank you.
You know, I've had that for years.
Thank you.
You know, I used to carry it. Director Spike Lee gave us the powerful and controversial Mo Better Blues and Jungle Fever portrayals of a black man and a woman and a white woman, a universe away from the commercially accepted views of the African-American experience. He's been the tour guide for millions into the worlds of black hope and black anger. And now with Malcolm X has delivered an epic film biography of a special time and a very controversial man. He returns to this broadcast tonight to talk about the movie, his own brand of controversy, and his reaction to Malcolm's future as the Academy Awards grow near. We're pleased to welcome back Spike Lee. Welcome.
How you doing?
All right. How are you doing?
Good.
I heard you say the other day you just wanted to go lie low. You were just tired of talking about this film. Bear with me.
All right.
All right. How do you feel about the reaction to it? How do you feel about what the critics have said? How do you feel about how it's doing at the box office?
The critical response has been very good. We're on a lot of the 10 best list of the year. At the box office, we're a little disappointed. I think that we're up to like 44 million now. And I think that we're going to look at it in the long run. I think that, you know, over a while, this film, I think this film is going to come out every year, you know, schools and stuff like that. So it's still a plus to me.
What reservations do you have? What might you have done differently about the film?
No, the film is the way I wanted to make it. It's a film I wanted to make. Even when the film comes out on videotape and laserdisc, it's going to be the same version that was put.
You're not going to add anything to it, subtract anything. You're not going to make it 2 hours rather than 3.5.
No, that's it. I think there was a story in the New York Times today. Bernard Weintraub says, "Well, we think
you
that
read them all, don't you?
We think
you
that
read
the film
could
have done a little bit more if it wasn't for the length. But I think that the 2-hour version of Malcolm X, a 2 hour and a half version of Malcolm X, would have been a." Film would have sucked. It would have been no good.
What do you want it to say to audiences, black and white?
Well, I think that what we wanted people to get was try to get a better understanding of Malcolm X. And also, we wanted them to realize that this film is not, you can't tell a whole man's life in 3 hours and 21 minutes. So this is like the starting point in a lot of stuff that we'd have liked to gotten into the film, but we couldn't. But we knew that going in. So I think that a lot of people are introduced to Malcolm X, and because of the film, they've read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and they go on and do
and
their further study.
And that's the original source.
And that's the original source, the Bible, as far as I'm concerned. And we have people like Bruce Perry running around saying...
Bruce Perry is an author of a biography of Malcolm X.
Yeah, they said Malcolm used to wear dresses, was a homosexual, and all this other stuff.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that. Yeah. It's in the book.
He also, you differ though, and this point is not to debate this film about what you said in the film, just to understand how you feel about the aftermath. I mean, there were things that you had to take some license.
Yes, it's not a documentary film. It's I took the same licenses that Oliver Stone took with JFK.
Well, I hope you took less than that though.
A little less.
Oh, come on. I mean, you took a lot
less. A lot less than Danny DeVito and David Mamet, you know, with Hoffa.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't make up conspiracies that weren't there. I mean, you pretty much say the Nation of Islam did it.
Well,
the assassination of Malcolm X. You do. And you have defended that view.
But Charlie.
Yes, sir.
I do not say that it was the Nation of Islam alone. They had a lot of help. I think the FBI and the CIA were definitely in on it. Malcolm, when his last trip to Mecca, he got poisoned in Cairo. I mean, there were a lot of people wanted Malcolm dead.
But let me see if I misunderstand you, because I've read a lot that, as you know, the things that you have said. It's my impression that you have said that if they were in on it, anybody who was in on it, whether it's the FBI or whoever it might have been, that they simply, or the New York police, whoever was trailing Malcolm, and everybody was trailing, they stood by and let it happen. Or that they had warnings and they weren't alert to them and that kind of thing. That's your point, is it not?
Exactly. I think that a lot of revisionist history is going on now about who killed Malcolm X. If you look at Muhammad Speaks around that time, every week, you know, there's editorials saying Malcolm's tongue should be cut out and delivered to the messenger's doorstep. The week before Malcolm was assassinated, his house was firebombed, which Bruce Perry says that the Malcolm X firebombed his own house with his sleeping wife and 4 children in it, which is bull. But
yeah. Now, Ossie Davis was here on this broadcast, and he said Malcolm came to see him and wanted either his wife, Ruby Dee, or Ossie Davis, to go see Elijah Muhammad, and somehow intervene because he was so fearful that the end was near.
Yes,
this was in the last week.
Well, he was really on the run the last year of his life. And as you know, he said in autobiography that I'm not going to live to see this book published. And it happened.
You have written a book called The Making of Malcolm X, right? With Ralph Wiley.
The Trials and Tribulations.
All right, the trial. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah. And in that is a Q&A with
Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, who's also been a guest on a broadcast I have done. He succeeded Malcolm in a sense, didn't he? With the Nation of Islam.
Well, no, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad lived on many years after Malcolm was assassinated. But you could say that Minister Farrakhan is his parent.
And what did you get from him? And what did he tell you about all this?
That's one of the best interviews I did in my research for the film. And Minister Farrakhan said there's a lot of truths out there. Just try to get as many as you can and pray on it. And he said, I don't expect this film to be my vision or Betty Shabazz's vision, anybody else's vision, but your own. And so he gave me the best advice. We showed him the screen of film for him the Thursday before the movie opened.
What did he say?
Haven't heard from him ever since then.
You haven't? No
Never.
Communication. Have you tried to communicate with him?
His office called and said that he was going to get in touch with me in writing, but haven't heard from him yet. But you know how the United States Postal Service is at the holiday season.
Don't tell me this stuff. Now, you didn't want, you only wanted black reporters to interview you.
No,
not
that's
true.
not true.
I'm here to clear
Not
up
true.
the misconceptions.
What I said was, I would prefer African American reporters to interview me. It came at a point where a lot of stuff I said kept being twisted around in the white media. I got tired of being asked questions by white reporters. Do I have any white friends? You know, that Esquire article, cover story is very damaging. You know,
Damaging in what way?
What was the title of the article? Spike Lee hates your cracker ass.
Right.
I mean, so I just got tired, and what I wanted to do, I was in a position where Malcolm X, the movie was so hot, I could really dictate the publication. Like, look, here's a list of prominent African Americans who you've never hired. If you want to come to the set, you want access to myself and Denzel, you got to use one of these African American writers, and a lot of them caved in.
Caved in what way? They sent?
Nah, they chose the people that we said you got to use.
So therefore you achieved your purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Denzel's going to win for Best Actor? You think? You think? You don't
I'm
wanna
praying, you know, all praises due, but, you know, we really can't rely on critics, the Golden Globes, or the Academy Award nominations to determine what the worth of the film, you know. We've gotten robbed before, we will continue to get robbed.
In what way?
I don't think that we're ever gonna, you know, I'm not really the best friend of Hollywood, and with the members and makeup of the Academy, I'm viewed as an outsider, and I think if I make a film, you know, where black folks are singing and dancing, then maybe we'll have a chance. If you just look at 69, I mean 1989, look at it, look what won Best Film in 89.
I don't know.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Well, there you go. Now,
but
I don't think this film, I mean, this Malcolm, one of the things happened with this film, it was so much attention to it. As you have said yourself, I mean, you read a lot and then you say you didn't say it. You said you were the best marketer outside of Madonna in America.
Yeah, that's before I get my breast implants.
You said that, did you?
I said it.
You know, and so you've been out marketing this thing.
But that has nothing to do with the nominations. I mean, if you, I don't want to talk about other films, but
well, go ahead.
We're not gonna get. I mean, when the Academy Award nominations come around, we'll be lucky if Denzel gets the Best Actor.
And suppose
that's gonna be it.
And if he does, what are you going to say? Well, there was no, you know, I was wrong, folks, and
no, I'm going to say
you guys are.
No, I'm going to be very happy for Denzel. But what about screenplay, Ernest Dickerson's great cinematography, Ruthie Carter's costume design, Terrence Blanchard's music, Barry Brown's editing, we go on and on. The
How
acting
about
of,
Spike Lee's directing?
well, the acting of Al Freeman Jr.'s Honorable Elijah
Yeah,
Muhammad.
well, pretty good. Yeah, it was real good.
But-
now, why'd you put yourself in this film and the whole early part of it playing Shorty?
Well, Shorty was a big part of Malcolm's early life
Sure.
in the Roxbury era, and I put myself in it.
Well, why?
I thought I could do the part.
Are you pleased with your performance?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pleased with it. But Shorty's a very minor character.
Boy, it's the first thing you see is that.
Yeah, well, that's a good introduction to the film. But the film is 3 hours and 21 minutes, so Shorty makes up a very, very small part of it.
Are you happy this is over, in a sense? You wanted to make this film. You fought to make this film. You have made the film you wanted to make. You got it made. You succeeded despite obstacles were put in your way. You succeeded by going to Bill Cosby and Oprah Winfrey and getting enough money to complete it. You made a film. A lot of critics like it. Are you happy now that you've done that and you can now move on to something else?
Yes, it's time to move on. I'm going to take a rest and try to come out with something again. I think my next film is going to be very small in scale. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be very small in scale when I decide to do it. And I think that it was really a great challenge to do Malcolm X. A lot of people said it couldn't be done, and I'm a better person, a stronger person because of the hell we had to go through to make this film.
How are you better and stronger?
I don't think I could be stopped now because if I set my mind to do something, I continue to surround myself with my people who have the same vision I have, we're going to do it, whatever project it is.
When someone says Spike Lee, as I read someone say, is more of a producer than a director, does that?
Well, I think that's someone that's talking out the side of their neck that really has no understanding of what the craft of filmmaking is. And I think that's something that's really gotten overlooked in my films, is that sometimes, they look at the persona of Spike Lee and they lose the art, not just my directing, but all the art, the cinematography, the music, all the art, the craft that goes in the films I've done so far.
If you look at the body of work that you have so
Right.
far, the films that you have, and from Jungle Fever to Malcolm X, and
She's
before
gotta
that,
have it,
she's got to have it.
To Malcolm X.
Sorry?
She's got to have it to Malcolm X.
What does it say? What is it the experience for you there, and what's the message about the African American experience that you were trying to communicate?
Well, that's my 6 films I've done so far. For me, really show the variety of the African American experience. That black people are not one monolithic group. We're just as diverse as anybody, and that is the reason why I made films, because I grew up going to see films, wanting to see that rich culture on screen. And I remember seeing Lilies in the Field when I was little, and no disrespect to Sidney Poitier, but I wanted to throw a brick through the screen because I'm like, look, man, fix your flat and get out of here before these nuns say you're going to rape them. Let's go. Because I was like, but I'm happy. I think that Malcolm X is really the final chapter on the first part of my filmmaking career. Now is on to the next phase, the next era.
What misconceptions are there about you that bother you the most?
Well,
what do they say
according to the New York Post and Howard Stern?
Yeah, what are they? I don't know what Howard Stern says about you, but what is it that they say that gets at you more than anything else?
Well, for me, I think not all white people, but some white people have this misconception that, why should black people be angry? Or why should you be angry, Spike? You have some fame.
You're a millionaire, all that stuff.
You have money. You have courtside
tickets at the Knicks.
The Knicks. So why should you be angry? And I'm very fortunate. I'm one of the couple people that slipped through this crack, and the black underclass now is larger than it's ever been. And I mean, the anger is still there. It was evidence, what happened in Los Angeles. And that really, I think that was just the tip of the iceberg.
And that's why you wanted to put the Rodney King incident at the top of the film, to
Definitely,
show what?
To show that this country has not made that many strides forward. The stuff that Malcolm X talked about 25, 30 years ago, today is still here with us today.
And in fact, the audience that most Malcolm appealed to during his life was the black underclass, was it not? That was the audience that
in the urban areas.
Yeah.
And where Dr. King was more centered in the South, the rural areas.
Yeah. Straighten out for me. Did you say that AIDS was a conspiracy by white people?
No. Once again.
That's why I'm trying to straighten out.
Okay. Once again, I said, I find it's too much a coincidence for me to find that this disease, this killer disease, comes out of nowhere and affects gays, blacks, and Hispanics. I just find it.
But it doesn't just affect gays, blacks, and Hispanics, as you know.
Yeah, but those were the target groups, I think, and now it's spread.
Target groups by?
Who knows? You ever heard of the Tuskegee experiment?
Yes, I admit. But you know who talks about that? No. But you know who talks about that is Minister Farrakhan.
Minister. Well, I can't share the same thought.
No, you can, but that's where I heard about it. You asked me where I heard about it.
There are a lot of black folks that still to this day do not trust the United States government. If the United States government, until 1972, for 40 years conducted an experiment where they want to see what syphilis does to untreated black people. I mean, for 40 years, and I'm going to say the AIDS can't be made in a lab.
Do you believe it, though?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
And you believe what? That AIDS is a conspiracy?
I just find it hard to believe this thing just popped out of nowhere. I mean, United States government, I mean, what about giving Indians blankets infected with smallpox, and a whole lot of stuff,
Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
All right.
Good luck with the movie. Good luck.
Thank you.
I hope Denzel does win.
Let's hope so.
Spike Lee, thank you for joining us on this broadcast tomorrow. Special conversation with Robert Altman, the director of the play, and Metropolitan Opera Artistic Director James Levine. Until then, see you later.